On the steep slopes of the Great Smoky Mountains, Alum Cave Trail has all the ingredients of a great story. It has a beginning at the trailhead, a middle at Alum Cave Bluff, and an end at the top of Mount LeConte. Not to mention plenty of characters along the way.
It's amazing how much stuff accumulates over a 2-year period.
There's Josh Shapiro with the National Park Service. He's been in charge of the restoration project on this trail for the last couple of years.
Of course, when you first come up here, you wonder how you're actually going to get all this work done.
Then you have other characters like Zach Beyersdorfer, one of the volunteers who camps and works in these grueling conditions to repair a heavily beaten path.
Kind of brutal too if you're not really an avid hiker, but it's well worth it.
But the more people you meet on the trail, the more you realize the main character is the trail itself. A devoted guide waiting to share some of the most iconic scenes in the Smokies.
I love all the views once you get to Inspiration Point.
All around here, you just sort of can lose yourself in the moment, and there's so much around you.
But after nearly a century of giving so much to others, this old friend needed a helping hand.
And a lot of it through the years had been eroded out.
So during the week for the last couple of years, the park gave Alum Cave Trail a break, shut it down to hikers, and brought in others to do the heavy lifting. Volunteers without the help of cars or ATVs lugged hundreds of pounds of equipment and generators up and down the trail, smoothing out the rough spots as part of a full makeover.
Put in the drains, come through and get rid of rocks and roots.
And one of the biggest improvements they've made here on Alum Cave Trail is this staircase at Arch Rock. It's a lot safer. You don't have to duck down to get through anymore. And all of this stonework should last until the Park Service's next centennial.
100-year standard. It's a good feeling, for sure, to know that it would last that long.
The change here has been dramatic, and it's really something else.
But crews say the greatest thing about these changes to Alum Cave Trail is they did not change Alum Cave Trail.
The same kind of character.
Having it look natural. When you're really working hard, you're in the moment, you're focused on this small piece of the trail, and then you look up and you just see it all. You feel a quiet excitement. The appreciation for this place.
A labor of love to ensure generations will still enjoy the company of this compelling character in a great story, gladly to be continued.
I love this trail. I could never get sick of this.
In the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Jim Matheny, WBIR 10 News.
These are the smoke masks that we were wearing. You can see how black and charred they are.
Surrounded by a ring of fire and staring into the eyes of death. With your last breath, what would your final words be? Krista Forden knows.
We're surrounded by flames and we have no escape and we're suffocating.
Trapped in a smoke-filled Park Vista hotel with her son and nephew, Forden secretly pressed pen to paper and prepared for the final punctuation of her life.
The kids don't know I did this, but I wrote down my son's name, his age, and the state he's from, my nephew, my name, and that I was the mother.
Identity, age, location. Forden then prepared for her last conscious breath as smoke overwhelmed the hotel.
I knew we only had minutes and that we would eventually pass out, and I was thinking, I was so thankful that we would pass out so that they didn't have to, experience anything more devastating than what they had already experienced.
While she prepared for the worst, Forden never gave up. And smoke cleared enough inside the hotel to give local rescue crews time to cut through the burning roadblocks and help Forden's family make an escape.
So thankful for what they did for us. They stayed with us even though their families were going through tragedy and they didn't know where their families were.
It's all gone.
Forden fled through the flames and eventually found refuge at the wilderness at the Smokies. Her family has inhaled a lot of smoke, but they are still breathing. And although this was not their last gasp, if it had been, Forden knows what she would say. The final sentence of her farewell note prepared to part ways in peace.
And then I wrote that say we love you and we are cuddling, calm, and at peace. I can't believe we lived through it.
In Sevier County, Jim Matheny, WBIR 10 News. In the genius of art lives a mosaic of madness. An eccentric eye to find beauty where none treads. An obsessive personality to take relentless steps to realize a dream no one else sees. Those are the qualities that lived in George Selaron, an artist from Chile who lived in Rio's Lapa neighborhood. Back in 1990, there was no kaleidoscope of colors on this staircase. Just 215 dilapidated steps Selaron dreamed of decorating. And so it started, coating this climb in colored tiles. Sublime shingles beneath the souls of those who would marvel at this massive project. And originally, Selaron was basically salvaging these old tiles from construction sites. But as the project went on, people from all around the world would donate them. Now you have tiles from all across the world, everywhere from Kazakhstan to Cape Hatteras. Selaron also painted his own tiles, usually featuring a pregnant African woman, something Selaron would only say was from his past. He spent every dime he had on this project. And the climb to completely coat these steps in colorful ceramics took 20 years. And even when it was finished, Selaron still was not done. He kept changing the work he already finished for a living piece of art. He said, "I will only complete this crazy original dream on the last day of my life." That final day arrived in 2013. His body was found with burn marks on the steps he made famous. The cause of his death was never determined, unable to rule out murder and possibly suicide. Whatever the cause of his demise, the project he poured his soul into lives on, where this obsessive genius realized the potential to bring fragments of the world together and pave a path of beauty that elevates us all. At the Selaron Steps in Rio, Jim Matheny, WBIR 10 News.